We improved our results here at Wellington in the first couple of years of Anthony's reign here by really very effective spoon feeding. There were a lot of pelican bibs bought. Everyone had a little plastic one, and you kept shoveling it in, and if it fell out, you put it back in again. And that increased results from 65–67% in terms of the A-level results up into the late 80s. Well, to get movement up through into the position we are now, spoon feeding just isn't effective enough, because there's always going to be bits that dribble back down somebody's chin, and they've got to take ownership of themselves. They've got to, the idea of being an independent learner, being curious. One of the other compelling parts of coaching for me was we were in a situation three years or so ago where we've got practically 90% of our kids getting A's and B's at A level, and a lot of kids getting A's, and yet hardly anyone was getting into Oxford and Cambridge. Now that told me that we were very effectively spoon feeding them, but in terms of intellectual curiosity, in terms of independent learning, we were nowhere. There's only a tiny number of kids really embodied that, and that's why they were the ones getting in. And turning things around and improving pupil learning and ownership, which is fundamentally coaching in the classroom. I mean, there are differences, but the fundamental ethos is the same. That has transformed their attitude towards learning and their ownership of their learning. So kids, will come back into lessons having really engaged with something since the last lesson, and they'll come back in with questions about it. Well, that just didn't happen, except in a tiny minority of cases, 5, 6, 7 years ago. The potential for future expansion of it is almost limitless, because it's a largely unpainted canvas. Hopefully, there'll be lots and lots of schools who'll see the benefit of it, and they'll want to take it forward, because personally, I believe this is the future of education. If you take the word education, it comes from the Latin exducare, which means to lead out. It doesn't mean to tell people things. It means, how do you enable people to move on and go off into the outside world? So I think there's huge potential for it.